Do you think UCO is eco-friendly enough? Is there anything the university or the students can do to make it even better? Let's have a conversation with Mr. Tillman, Coordinator of Sustainability here at UCO, and let's also hear what the students have to say about it. My name is Sergio Marin. I'm an international student here at UCO, and this is my research. Do you recycle?
I don't recycle as much as I should, but usually if there's a recycle bin around me, yeah, I will recycle.
I try to when I'm here on campus.
Every chance I get. Cool? Yes, I recycle every day.
I'm recycling the paper by paper and can, plastic and other trash can with the other trash cans. And I usually unplug that I'm not use the electronic.
I do recycle. In the financial aid office, we actually have recycling bins for recycling purposes.
Yes, I recycle very often. I live with my parents and they are big fans of recycling.
My name's Tim Tillman. I am the Sustainability Coordinator here at UCO, and my job involves basically anything to do with the environment, the economics related to the environment, and social justice. UCO is and for many years, it's been a very eco-friendly campus. Everything we do has a distinct purpose with an eye towards environmental sustainability. For example, these trees you're standing under are indigenous. They're bald cypress. They're indigenous to Oklahoma, and they require very little irrigation, very little care, and they thrive beautifully. And they're also beautiful trees. We plant trees specifically near buildings to shade them and reduce the energy consumption. We choose our grasses and our shrubs, and all the things we plant on campus have a very specific purpose. Every building that's been built on campus since the Forensic Science Institute has met LEED standards, L-E-E-D, and that is a national standard that qualifies as an eco-friendly building. Even our heat and air systems are designed to be use maximum efficiency and minimize consumption of natural resources. Yeah, you bet. Water conservation is a big deal in Oklahoma, so we do things like we retrofitted all of the urinals on campus to be zero flush, zero water consumption. Right. We have installed about 30 bottle fillers that'll fill an 8-ounce bottle and reduce a lot of the waste involved with refilling water bottles. We just finished a major retrofit on our irrigation systems, and that went to a sensor system that tells the irrigation system when the soil is dry down to a certain depth, and that will trigger it to irrigate. So we only irrigate when we absolutely need to, and that has cut down our water consumption considerably. First of all, a healthy environment for our students and faculty and staff is very important, and the more eco-friendly a place is, the more healthy it's going to be. Another benefit of all these trees and plantings that you see is they serve as air scrubbers. They pull a lot of carbon out of the air and sequester it in the soil, and that gives us much better air quality than a place without that many trees. Here's a good example. We have a bike share program and a very active public transit program called CityLink. You and I talked about CityLink. Something that you don't think about is if 100 students a day ride bicycles to campus and 3,000, 4,000 students a month ride the bus instead of bringing a car, that lowers the amount of parking spaces we need to build. It lowers the amount of vehicle emissions on campus, and those little things contribute to a much healthier environment for all of us. And that's kind of my overarching goal, is to send our students and our graduates out into the world with an understanding of how sustainability works and why it's important. So a lot of my role is that of an educator. I try and teach people, why this matters. And I have a quick story to illustrate it. I had a young lady graduate. She'd worked as my intern for a little bit and went to work for a local company. Well, I happen to know the owner of this local company. It's a small firm. And they called me a couple of weeks later and said, this student of yours is amazing. She came in and 2 days after starting work had started a recycling program here. We didn't have one, so she just started one. And that's the kind of students I want to send out into the world, that see that need and they just take steps to fix it.
And that's great, Tim. is there any area on UCO department or any process that is doing here on college that is the most pollution one?
Because it's an ongoing process of educating. So it's my job that if I see a student group passing out something that's not recyclable or not appropriate, then it's my job to go and say, hey, let me teach you about this. Let me teach you why there's a better way to do this. And there are some things on a campus that by necessity are going to pollute a little bit, but I can say with all certainty that every part of this university at least makes a serious effort to try and keep their carbon footprint way down.
How would you make UCO more eco-friendly?
I'd like to put more recycling cans on the multiple levels of the Nye Center and the buildings so that students wouldn't have to go very far to find a recycling place, causing them to give up and just throw away.
I think that they could have a little more recycling bins around campus and stuff, especially like in classrooms. It wouldn't hurt to have like the smaller ones. But other than that, they actually do recycle pretty well. I mean, they try to stay efficient with it. So.
I believe that more recycling areas could improve the recycling efforts by other students.
How some events will be like benefits for help students to know more about recycling, because like you can ask them questions and give them some rewards to kind of make them know more about this part.
Get interesting in it.
I think UCO needs more cardboard recycling bins around campus. We use a lot of cardboard here on campus, and there are too few bins for them. Also think that we need to have less paper formatted quizzes and stuff like that, and make it more online accessible.
Minimizing your waste and consumption of plastics, reusing reusable items, being a conscious consumer in what you buy and how you live your life.
We're at a phase as a university where the thing that we're working on now is changing the culture. So, we have a great recycling program, but it takes students and faculty and staff making a commitment to use that recycling program, to use recyclable products. So at this point, it's becoming really a cultural thing that we need our students to step up and say, no, we want to live a much more eco-friendly, sustainable lifestyle.
Even though UCO is making a tremendous effort to be more eco-friendly, most of the people interviewed think that there is still room for being even better. Most important, we have to remember that this is a group work. So what are you doing today to be more eco-friendly and to preserve the only world that we have?